right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. With me today, got MD the Dream, Michael DeRosa, and we got Butler's Fighting Crew, BFC. So today we're going to kind of recap our thoughts on Butler's 87-85 loss on the road to SMU in their first big test of the season. It was a really fun game. Unfortunately, the Dogs came up on the short end of the stick. And then we'll dive into Butler's upcoming matchup against South Carolina as part of the guys. Correct me if I pronounce it wrong. Greenbrier, however you say it. I don't even know how to say it.
Greenbrier.
Yeah,
Greenbrier. It's I was gonna say. I feel like it's a golf spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm no good with golf stuff, so that makes sense. But the cool part about Greenbrier is we get to play in like a ballroom basically, so that's gonna be exciting. But yeah, so looking back at the SMU game, so again, Butler's first kind of real test of the season. SMU is definitely no pushover. I mean, they're up to 48th in KenPom. That's a solid team. I mean, you're looking at KenPom rankings that's sitting around where like a road Creighton game would be right now, which is honestly a good matchup, right? So definitely not an easy task. Unfortunately, the Dogs again fell 87-85. Finley Bizjack, I thought played exceptional, 18 points. 5 for 9 from 3. You could tell it was definitely a homecoming for him. Played with a lot of fire, a lot of electricity. Ajayi dropped his fourth straight, 4 for 4, double with 14 points and 10 boards. And then Jalen Jackson and Jamie Kaiser dropped in 9 points apiece. And then Traore and Evan Haywood also had 9 points apiece. Definitely a shortened rotation this time around. Only those guys I just listed had, and Drayton Jones had 15 minutes, but the other guys were the only ones that had 20 or more minutes, with Yame Butler and Jackson Keith and Xavier Robinson all getting around 7 or 8 minutes apiece. So, Michael, I'll pass it over to you first, man. Kind of give us your pros, your cons, break down your thoughts on the SMU game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of thought we were the better team watching this game, like for the most part. But on the other hand, I would like to win if we're the better team in a game, like that's kind of the thing to me. So like I saw a lot of people saying like being more optimistic and like in a sense I get it, because we were the better team, but I don't know, I found myself really frustrated, honestly. Just because it was such a winnable game, it's a road game, it's a game that's gonna be a Q1 win if we're in tournament contention, stuff like that, right? It's like it's gonna matter. And I don't know. The part that really got me was like the transition defense was bad. And then when SMU went on their run in the beginning of the second half, I guess we can call it the third quarter if you really want to like detail it like that. I just thought the effort level was bad. Like I just thought the guys were like dejected. Like they really like got down on themselves. And like if they were the first to the loose balls, if they were the first on the floor, if they got back in transition instead of looking at the ref and complaining, instead of just kind of sulking, I think we win that game by like 5 to 10 points, especially with how well Finley played down the stretch. Granted, you can make the argument Finley doesn't have to do that much, and then it'll still be a close game. But I don't know. I really think it was just the effort things, and I hope like this is. I mean, it was the first big game for this group together, right? Like Jalen Jackson, it's your first big game at a big school. So like maybe you're a little nervous. Ajayi, you're finally like the guy on a team. Those two combined for 9 turnovers. You hope that doesn't happen, but they were sulking a lot, and we're in the Big East. You can't get away. You don't do that stuff in the Big East. It doesn't work. So I'm hoping this was a lesson to be like, okay, no, like we can't like give up on ourselves because we're a team that is good enough to compete at this level. Like we're good enough to be here. But I thought that was the only reason they lost, honestly, and that kind of ticked me off. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you on the like. It was such a weird emotion. Like I thought, to your point, like you need to win. Like you need to win games. Like we can't just be like, oh yay, like metric merchants, right? Like okay, but I mean, and it is because also at the same time you're like, well, shit, we jumped up 6 spots. So clearly it wasn't a bad loss, but it's one that you want and one that you kind of maybe need if you're looking at the bubble. So it's definitely it gives you optimism, but at the same time you're very frustrated. I felt the exact same way as you did about that too. So BFC, how about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough when you lose. You got a shot to win a game, have a shot at the buzzer, and really, I thought two-thirds of our big three just didn't play very well. I thought Finley was kind of the only one out of, the guys that we really need between Jalen, Mike, and himself that kind of showed up in the big moment. Um, but with the Jai, I think not getting some of the calls early, and we saw this with Telfort. When you're built like that, you're just not going to get as many calls because the contact isn't showing up as much as it will on a smaller player. So he's kind of hurt by the fact that he's a monster. I mean, When he gets hit, it's not like he's going to flop over to the sideline or anything like that. But I thought not getting some of those calls really seemed to throw him off. It just seemed like he wasn't playing with as much purpose as we've seen in the first couple games. He wasn't necessarily going up as strong. He wasn't taking as many risks creating because I don't think he had kind of the confidence that, if he didn't have a pass out, that he could go up and even draw a foul or, not risk just getting kind of getting hacked. But then you got to adapt. I mean, if you're not getting calls at this level, which you're not going to, if we're at Marquette, if we're at Georgetown, if we're at UConn, you're not going to get those calls, and we need him to be big in those games. So I hope it's a big learning opportunity for him. At obviously the last time he was the guy at Pepperdine, he's not getting fouled like this. I mean, he's going up against guys from WCC that have come over to the Big East and frankly just haven't necessarily panned out. He's not built like some of those guys like Mahaney, obviously last year, who didn't pan out, didn't necessarily have the build for the conference. He does, and I hope it's a learning opportunity that he can kind of grow and adapt from it. Jalen obviously was dealing with the ankle injury first, really his first big game. Obviously, he didn't have the stop at a Gonzaga like Michael did. I'm not worried about him. I didn't think he had his A game. The shot just wasn't necessarily falling, and that's going to keep you honest. Plus, he had his hands full on defense. But Finley was phenomenal. I mean, he's grown into exactly what we need, exactly what we thought he was, what kind of what we were going to deal with him. So that's great to see. I mean, it's a huge game. He's the guy, and he made probably the biggest four plays of that last 2 minutes. They got an offensive rebound, got the putback, and then he has one just go long. So yeah, I think like Michael said, I was just really frustrated, and it took me a little while to get over that frustration because I really felt like we had it, and we had it without two guys that we were going to need to be studs having their best stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think actually one of the worst parts is that after that frustration, then we had to sit on this now for like a week, which I hated that. I was like, damn, I really wish we had some bye game just to go like get this off of us, but we've had to sit here just waiting on this loss. But no, agree with what both you guys have said. Just a few stats from the game. Butler's continued to shoot the ball really well. So they were 13 for 29 from 3-pointers, started off super hot. So they've been shooting well from range. Actually, I think on KenPom, I might have to double check this. I think we're like 22nd or something in the nation, or 32nd in the nation on 3-point percent. I could be completely wrong, but I think I saw that.
32nd.
It's 32nd. Look at that memory. And I'm not that old, boys. We still got the noggin. All right. So 32nd. So we're shooting the ball really well. We're also rebounding offensively. Offensive rebounds have actually been pretty good too. I think we're like 6th or something crazy. Michael, correct me again because I feel like I'm going to be off.
Offensive riband, we are 6th.
Oh, man.
Look at you.
Look at me go, boys. Look at me go. And this is all earlier. I promise you I don't have it in front of me. I promise you. Yeah, we had 14 offensive boards, which is good. Some of the bad things, I mean, and also a bunch of assists. We continue to be really good with assists, almost maybe to a fault. We keep with the turnovers, but turnovers, we had 16 turnovers. That we can't have that. We're just one of we're again 200 something in like turnovers per game at like a 19% clip. Like we can't be doing that. And then the free throws are just so we've all of us on this podcast have harped on it so much. Like we said, it was going to kill us in close games, and it did. Like 14 for 23. You're sitting on 9 points that could win you the game. So just definitely some things that we need to just keep focusing on and improving upon. The transition to you guys already talked about, and so SMU again, frustrating loss. I will say actually one more thing. I did like the way that Jackson Keith played in that game, just for some like random stuff. He only played like 7 minutes or whatever. But he clearly has like the body to play like at this level. I thought at least. And then I even liked the minutes that Yame gave us. I was kind of I think it's tough because we have so many wings to like distribute. Obviously, like I want Kaiser out there, but if you have Kaiser out there, it's hard to get some of like the other guys out there too. So, but I did think some guys had some good minutes. Evans, obviously a sniper. Outside of just the big guys that we talked about. So some good contributions. Stink. This was obviously his first big game. You can kind of tell that a little bit. Boopy's really good. Boopy's like really good at basketball. So, so fast. I mean, that's. Did you see his foul stat line? It was like 12 assists and like like 8 turnovers or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like nuts. I was like, geez, my gosh, he almost had a double with assists and turnovers. But anyway, so now we kind of got to put that in the rear view mirror. That was the first big test, first true road game. So, again, it wasn't the worst. At least it wasn't the worst thing ever. Again, frustrated we didn't win. But now we got to go to the, oh, God, I'm going to forget it again. Greenbrier. Yeah, you guys, my memory is just great today. And that, I mean, short term, long term is feeling great. So head to the Greenbrier where we'll face South Carolina on Friday at 2 p.m. I'm going to have to call off sick. And then we have Virginia and Jakari White, PTSD from that name, coming Sunday. So those are the 2 teams we'll play in good old West Virginia. So looking forward to South Carolina. Michael, again, I'll pass to you first. Kind of break down South Carolina for us. What can Butler look forward, or what do they need to look forward to as the Bulldogs face the good old Gamecocks?
Yeah, so I haven't watched a ton of South Carolina this year. I will not lie to you guys, but just I know a decent amount of these guys on the roster. One, just looking at their KenPom page, they shoot a ton of threes and they don't let their opponent shoot a ton of threes. So they're just kind of dominating the 3-point line in terms of percentages. So I imagine they're going to kind of funnel us defensively to the rim. But like they also haven't really been tested. Their wins are North Carolina A&T, Southern Miss, Presbyterian, Radford. The best win of that is 249 and KenPom 255. They're in that range. Like I don't think they're anything special. Well coached team. I like Lamont Paris there, but this roster, respectfully, is not very good. Michi Johnson's their player. He started his career at Ohio State, then transferred to South Carolina, then went back to Ohio State, and is now back at South Carolina. He's completed the full cycle. He's their leading scorer, good guard, ball handler. Like he's generally a good guard. He's not as good as Boopy Miller, but like he's a good player. Eli Ellis is a name that people might know if you're active on the social media thing because he's like one of those OTE kids that has a huge following. BFC probably knows more about him than I do. I took the SAT with Miles Studi. I graduated college in 2024 and he's still here, so that's something. Christy Sandoko was at Providence last year. He's not good. And then Mongolian Mike Sharavmat. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce his name. He's a guy that will probably get a lot of hype on the broadcast because he's tall, he can dribble, and he can shoot. But he's a Ponzi scheme. He's just a Ponzi scheme. He's really not very good. I would hope he goes off in like 2 or 3 games a year. I'm gonna hope this isn't one of those 2 or 3. Yeah, but I'm not too like scared of this team in terms of talent. They're a very well coached group. So like if they beat us, it would be like based on like really execution, slowing the pace down, running us off the 3-point line, and like really executing like a direct game plan. But other than that, I think the talent matchup favors Butler here.
Yeah, BFC, what about you, man?
Yeah, like Michael said, I want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into Eli Ellis because he's just a fascinating player. And yeah, a lot of people know him. He's got a big following. He played OT with the Thompson twins. So the Thompson twins are now, potentially going to be all defensive team in the NBA. And he's now a freshman in college. He's 20 years old, same age as Finley, but he's been playing at an extremely high level. He's been playing, I mean, he played against Rob Dillingham, Alex Sarr, Malik Thomas, who's now going to be and the Thompson twins. So that's 5 first-round picks, 5 top 10 picks. He's not. I think a lot of people this year thought that he was just kind of going to be, maybe come off the bench, maybe play a couple minutes. He's a legit player that we have to worry about because he can score the rock, he can shoot it. The defense obviously isn't necessarily there. He's going to flop. He's going to get calls. He's going to piss guys off, but he can really score it. And he's not really a freshman. I mean, he's 20 years old. It's essentially like he was, like when we got CMOS, he's essentially like he's been playing in Europe and is coming over and is, a freshman, sure. And, so I really do think that we kind of have to worry about him. We have had a tendency to get kind of lit up by guards in every game we've kind of played so far. And I think that the matchup will probably be Finn on him, be the 2 guard on him. I don't think Jalen's going to get that matchup. And that's honestly that would kind of be a waste of a matchup for him because speed isn't necessarily the way that this kid scores. But I'm kind of excited to watch him because he's just kind of very fascinating in a new era of of college basketball where these kids are coming in. They've got, massive sponsorships, they've got followings, but for honestly, you know, the illusion of Mikey Williams and Bronny and some of these guys that came in and averaged a couple points a game. This kid's legit, but it's also his first game against a real opponent. So I think we have to look out for him. He does come off the bench, but he plays like 30 minutes. And then obviously, like Michael said, they might have the two funniest players in college basketball. They've got a guy that's transferred 6 times and played for 2 schools. And then they've got a kid that's 20 years old and has been playing, pseudo professional basketball on YouTube announced by, B-list rappers for the last 2 years. So it's just a fascinating matchup.
Yeah, no, for sure. But so a few more things, and Guru did some research today. All right, boys, I'm telling you, the brain is. I don't know if it's having a kid, might be dad powers. I don't know what it is, but Guru did some research. So kind of like the few things we were talking about. I can't remember now. Now look at my memory go. I can't remember if we just said this on the air, if we said this off the air or not. But kind of like the three main things that I would say were like the biggest problems, like with the SMU game. We talked about the turnovers. We talked about the transition defense. We talked about the free throws. So turnovers wise, Butler has been bad. We already said like 19.5% turnover rate. That's not good, with a 13.7 steal against rate. So also really not good. Some of the work, like 248th out of 365 schools, like that is not good, right? The good thing is South Carolina, I know Michael mentioned they run you off the three, but they do not really cause turnovers. So they only have, when I say 15.7%, that's actually really low across the college basketball, with only a 6.6% steal rate. So Butler shouldn't have as many turnovers as they usually do, because this is not a team that's going to try and capitalize on that. So that's good news for us. Transition defense. Butler has actually faced, again, a lot of schools so far that have played very fast. So IU Indy, for instance, is first in adjusted tempo, eighth in average offensive possession length, meaning like they get shots off fast and they're sprinting down the court. SMU was 18th in average offensive possession length. Again, and Michael highlighted this in the last podcast. They try and get on transition. Even Southern Indiana was 62nd. So, again, there's 365 schools. The only one that was a joke is Chicago State. No offense to the Cougars, but they were 340th. So you take that outlier out, and Butler's played some really fast teams. Like that's what they do. They try and get up and down the court. So South Carolina doesn't do that. And Michael kind of alluded to a little bit ago, but it sounds like they kind of like, basically they're 269th in adjusted tempo, 275th in average possession length, offensive possession length. So they take their time, and they're not going to a good scout would be do run it on us, but that shouldn't be as big of a factor as it has been. There's no excuse for not getting back on defense, but I'm just saying this team does not play as fast. Like, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just saying it shouldn't be as big of a glaring or be able to exploit it as much as it has been in the SMU games and other games. The other thing, guys, we just need to make free throws. I said it before, but we just got to make free throws. We're shooting at 67% clip. It's just killer. Close games give me killer. I anticipate this game will be close. Like, I don't think we're going to blow them out by any means. So we got to start making our free throws if we want to beat a team like South Carolina. One big note I will say for South Carolina, you guys mentioned it was the first big opponent for them. It's also their first time away from home. So at least we got that SMU game out of the way, which is nice because we got to play on a different court, which I think is important. So that'll be nice. Maybe possibly a little advantage for us as we head into the South Carolina game. Since we won't really be doing a podcast between like the South Carolina and the Virginia game, Michael, real quick, and the name Jakari White is going to pop out here. So Jakari White, for those you don't remember, North Dakota State. He is just absolutely lit us up. He's the one that dropped like 1,000 in the first half before we finally decided we might want to guard him. He transferred to Virginia, so we'll be seeing him again. But Michael, break down the Virginia team and what Butler can expect from them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a glaze segment. Virginia is on KenPom is 37th. I truly think they're a top 25 team. I really like this roster. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first thing that glares out, if you look at their 3-point shooting percentages on just like the players, here's some of the guys on their team. Here are all the guys on their team shooting above 37.5% or better, which I would say would be a mark to be like elite, right near elite. Dallin Hall, 37.5%. Malik Thomas, 38%. Jakari White, 40%. Thiz DeRitter, who's their four-man, 45%. Chance Mallory, their backup point guard, who I love, 60%. Sam Lewis, 53%. Six guys. They're a team that spreads you out offensively. They shoot the hell out of the ball. They haven't been tested at all. Their best win is against Ken Pom, 153rd ranked Marshall. That game, it was over by halftime. It was over by then. Like they just went out there, they just straight up hit shots, blew them out. GG. They have the second best offensive rebounding rate in the country. Their bigs are both playing very well at the five, which is international transfer Johan Grunlo, who was a guy who was looked at with some NBA buzz this offseason. Didn't end up going, decided to go to college for a year. He'll play very well. He'll probably be going pro. I don't know NBA, but like high level pro whenever he wants to, really. Second in the country in block rate. And Ugana Onyenso is a familiar name if you follow the transfer portal, because he's been in the transfer portal probably 7 times. He's here for his senior year, fifth in the country in block rate, 16%. I think this team is very good. Their guards are very good. Dallin Hall was a guy at BYU last year who was on a tournament team. I mean, wasn't like their best player by any means, but like he was an effective player on a tournament team. That's a good thing. Malik Thomas is a guy from San Francisco, who's I think their best player last year on a team that again was very respectable and comes from a winning culture. He was averaging over 20 points a game, shooting 40% from three. The kid can shoot the hell out of the ball. He can score in a variety of ways. We know about Jakari White. Thiz DeRitter is another kid I remember like looking at this offseason. He's very good, very skilled four-man, 6'9", international kid. So you know exactly the type of game you're getting. He does it all. He just size, shooting. He can put the ball on the floor. Really good court vision. Make plays instinctively well. He's been playing pro internationally for a while. And then Sam Lewis on the bench. I don't know if he's starter or bench player. He has started all 4 games, but he plays like half the time. Very good shooter. He doesn't play like a defense. But the rest of this team, I think, is very good. And their backup point guard, Chance Mallory, he's listed 5'10". He's really 5'8". He's not 5'10". He's like 5'8". He was actually, when they stormed the field, when they won their big football game, I don't remember who it was against. He was in a picture on like as a part of the team storming the field, and you didn't know it was him because he just blended in with all the students. He's a dog. If he was 6 feet tall, he'd be a top 10 recruit. Like just straight up.
Didn't Butler recruit him?
Yeah, we offered.
Yeah, we offered. I thought we did. Yeah, the name.
We at least offered. I don't think we made it. I think. I mean, when we got Stink, I think we stopped recruiting guards basically, but we at least offered him early. I think.
Yeah, I that name
legit.
Yeah. Because he's from the DMV, right?
He is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I remember him. Yep.
Yeah, he's very good. But the roster's awesome. Like I really think Virginia is going to be a team that this performance is going to age well, because I think they're going to be a very good team. I think this team is legitimately a top 25 team. I think they're easily the toughest test we've played this year. I think this team is quite a bit better than SMU. I'm not going to lie.
So dogs by like 20?
30.
Cool. That's what I thought. Yeah. BFC, is there anything you want to add to that part, or we'll do predictions for the South Carolina game?
Yeah, just real quick. I'm actually kind of interested to see how their kind of how the rotation shapes up, because obviously they haven't been tested. They don't even have a guy that's playing over 29 minutes, 28 minutes. So I'm interested to kind of see how that shakes up. It's a little bit like Butler going into the SMU game. So it's a little bit of a harder scout, just kind of looking at it. DeRitter is a problem, and it's a matchup that we've struggled with in the past. Kind of the very big, skilled, Danny Wolf type, big man. I'm interested to see how that shakes out. I'm interested to see who's guarding him. I'm wondering if we, go a little bit smaller, a little bit faster. I just don't necessarily know what the right matchup is there, so I'm interested. But yeah, I agree with Michael. I mean, I think this team's better than SMU. I think that they struggled last year. I don't think anyone blames them for struggling last year when the coach leaves, just before tip-off, basically. But it's Virginia. I mean, they weren't going to be down for long, and I really think that they're going to be a problem in the ACC this year that's a little bit down. So, I mean, I think if you can steal this one, it ages very well. If you keep it close, it ages really well. I think, if we get through get through South Carolina, I really think that this is a bit of a swing game depending on how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend to contribute because you guys just said everything. All I know is Jakari White, and I'm just going to keep getting PTSD from it. So, no, all good stuff there, guys. So,
do you get scared by Mr. Clean?
Yeah,
now?
Now I do. Absolutely. Now I do. I didn't used to, but yes, it is. Any bald man scares me. pretty much at this point. So my dad looked at me one time and I about shivered. So let's give our prediction on the South Carolina. If you guys want to give one on the Virginia game, you can. I just don't know enough about them. All my research today and the little spare time I have with South Carolina, so I'll let you guys pick that one. But what are your predictions for the South Carolina game, Mike? I'll go with you first.
Yeah, I think we beat South Carolina. I'm gonna go Butler 77, South Carolina 65. I think we beat them. I think we pull away late, but I think for the most part, I think we beat this team. I think we're the better team.
Cool. BFC?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think, 80-68. I think a 12-ish point win is kind of what I'm looking at. I just think they're not tested, and we at least have one under our belt. And I just think we match up well. I mean, they've got some guards that could score, but I don't think they've got anyone that can really contain our wings.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to win 83-70, and we're going to pull away because we make our free throws. Because it's a ballroom and it just seems right. It just seems like the right scenario for us to finally hit some free throws. Seems like the most random place of all time. Like it's gonna be like 75 to 70, and they're just gonna keep hacking us for a little bit, and we're just gonna make them all. And then they miss, and we make another one, and another one. Ajayi goes 10 for 10, like something crazy. If you guys can't tell, I really want us to make free throws. So I think Butler comes out and just actually having talked to one of the players after that last game, it sounds like their heads are still really high, which is good because the last thing we need is after game one, them hanging their heads from an 87-85 loss is that, it's one game, right? So wish we had it, but it's one game. I'll give you guys the opportunity because I'm just going to say Virginia, we win by 20. But Michael, what do you got for that one?
You can tell Guru's getting old when he's really harping on free throw shooting.
I know I am. But look, we lost the. It's okay. You know what? Just go.
Yeah. You are right. He is right with everything you said.
It just like I don't know. Anyway, I can just.
They're called free for a reason.
Yeah.
But one thing I can say is I don't know how this specific ballroom's gonna look, but sometimes it throws guys' depth perception off.
Yeah.
Just the way it's set up. I don't know how this one's gonna look. That's more of a conversation that the players will have immediately than me on a podcast. I just can't give that perspective. But I'm not gonna lie, I really like the Virginia team. I don't think this is gonna be a game that we're gonna perform well, and I'm gonna go 90-75 Virginia.
All right. BFC.
I mean, I'm just never gonna pick against Butler. I'm gonna go 90. I do think it's high scoring. Yeah, the ballroom's weird because it's. It can really be either way. Sometimes they put that backdrop behind and it's like guys are just shooting in an echo chamber and they can't miss. But then sometimes it can be really messy and guys can just, not hit anything. So I'm gonna look at kind of how the shooting was last year. Obviously it's a little bit different when we had Pierre on last year. We were talking about him shooting on an aircraft carrier in the wind, and he was ironically the only one that made shots. Which is very Pierre. But I think 92-90 is, I think we win it.
And I know very little. I didn't scout Virginia at all, so I'm gonna go with probably 90-70 Butler. That sounds about right. Yeah, we just catch fire, and we make all of our free throws.
Jakari goes 0 for 15 from 3.
Jakari goes 0 for 15 in an anti-revenge game. But no, so again, Butler plays this Friday at 2 p.m. They again face South Carolina in the first game of the Greenbrier Tip-off, and again on Sunday versus Virginia. So make sure to tune in to those games. Big games for Butler. Butler definitely challenged themselves to enough capacity with the Big East being down this year. So important we grab some of these games. I know we didn't really emphasize that yet, but the Big East just has not done themselves favors. So we really do need to win some of these games. So let's South Carolina's a must-have, and let's go try and beat Virginia and get a key win there, boys. So again, everyone tune in this Friday, and as always, go Dogs.